Oh.
at the bowling alley. Oh, maybe they'll
Oh,
see
at the
each
same
other.
bowling alley?
They're going to the same, and they don't even know
Hilarious.
it. Oh my gosh, it just
See,
dawned
that's
on me when I
good.
was
That
seeing
worked out
Yes,
good.
it
See?
did. It did.
Look at God.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
I am Reverend Dr. Cedric Von Jackson, Senior Pastor of West 100th Street Baptist Church, affectionately known as Pastor J. And I would like to welcome each and every one of you to this very special VIP meet and greet. Please make sure that you partake of the snacks and goodies that we have provided for you. You are in for a treat this evening because you get to listen in on an interview between one of our church members, Sister Trustee Angela Leach, and our featured artist for this evening's sensational summer concert, Miss Rissi Palmer. So without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Angela and Rissi. Let's welcome them.
Good evening. My name is Angela Leach, and welcome to the VIP experience tonight. Our guest is a wife, she's a mother, a singer, songwriter, advocate, and most of all, she's a child of God. And so, go ahead and put your hands together to welcome Ms. Rissi Palmer.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
So we're going to go ahead and get right into the conversation. So at what point did you know that you were a talented singer-songwriter?
So it didn't start out with me knowing I was talented. It was just mostly just knowing that I wanted to make music and I wanted to sing. I loved to sing. I was one of those kids that walked around constantly singing or humming and would make people stop and like, can I sing The Greatest Love of All for you? And like that. So I was that kid. So I knew really early, I think probably like 3.
Oh, wow.
3 or 4, I started telling people that I wanted to be a singer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So describe the feeling that you had when you made it to the Country Billboard's chart in 2007. You were the first woman to make the chart within 20 years. So how did you feel at that moment?
Yeah, no, well, first of all, I didn't know at that time that I was the first Black woman to do that in 20 years. I had no idea. Well, first of all, it was great because you grew up listening to the radio. And, you know, as an artist, like that's your validation, is being able to sit in your car and flip a channel and hear yourself. And so it was validating for me for all the years, you know, of working and getting told no and all the years of rejection and everything else. And then on top of that, finding out that I was the first Black woman in 20 years to do it was big. I mean, you know, I don't know about y'all, but I get to the point now as a Black person where you get tired of hearing that this is the first time that something like that has happened. After 400 years, like I can't believe that we're still having firsts, but I was proud. And then also, you know, it's sad a little bit because it's just like, okay, wow, why hasn't there been someone else? Why haven't there been more?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I listened to your most recent album, Revival, and I listened to your first album. Now your first album
very different.
They are very different.
Yes.
The first album had a country vibe to it. I would say all country, but this new album, I hear the country, but I hear a little bit of jazz, I hear a little bit of soul in there. And so I guess I want to know, like, what type of artist, because this new album does not fit in any type of box.
No.
What type of artist do you consider yourself at this point?
Well, I definitely don't. It's funny, the first album is a decidedly country record. And that is how, until I die, I will be boxed as a country. I could put out a rap reggae album, and it'll be the rap reggae album from country artist Rissi Palmer. So, you know, that's always what the genre, what the business will do. But I don't know, I consider myself to just be, all of my favorite artists, all the people that I admire, that I look up to, I don't think about what genre they do. I just think about how it makes me feel. Right. And, you know, you don't necessarily, like Phoebe Snow is one of my favorite artists. growing up, my mom used to play a lot of Phoebe Snow. And that was actually the inspiration for me to start playing the guitar. And I don't know what you would call what Phoebe Snow does. Like some of it was jazz, some of it was folk, some of it was soul, some of it was pop, but it was just really great. And so that's what I kind of would like for myself to be considered. But I named it just so there was something that people could call me. So I call it like, it's a mixture of all that. It's country, it's soul, there's some gospel elements. There is some jazz, and I call it Southern soul. Because like it's all those things mixed into one thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Why the title Revival?
Well, first of all, that was my first full-length album in, I want to say 2009, like 10 years.
Okay.
That was the first full-length that I'd put out. I did a children's album in 2013 after my daughter was born, my first daughter was born. And then I did like little EPs and stuff, but this is the first full-length, so it felt like a revival to me.
Okay.
And then the title track of the album is called Revival. So that was the other reason.
Yes, and that children's album that you put out, it is no kids bop. So,
Thank you. That's a compliment. Thank you.
Yes, I definitely enjoy it. It's something that adults can listen to.
That's exactly what we wanted to do. I was the inspiration for that was my little one. I just had my first baby. And I was kind of semi-retired. I left the business after a very tumultuous first few years. And I left my record company, and I was independent. And I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore because I was married and had a family and all that. And so I started taking my daughter to baby music. Have any of y'all ever experienced baby music? It is one of the 7 rings of hell. Like it's because you're basically like sitting there with a baby and you're listening to like this, the wheels on the bus go round, like over and over. And then a teacher says like, ooh, ooh, ah, to get the baby to say it back. It's a lot of fun for them. It's kind of torture for the adults. And so I was just like, I am going to scream if I hear any of this music anymore. And so I was like, I think I can make something that adults would like and that children would understand that doesn't necessarily talk down to them. Because I think people think that when you're doing something for children, you have to talk down. And they're very smart. And so I wanted to make something that grown-ups wouldn't be embarrassed to listen to if the kids weren't in the car. So that's what our whole goal was.
Oh, awesome. So tell me how you use your music to address societal issues.
I think in the very beginning, when I was writing music, I was very young. I was like 19 when I wrote most of the songs that ended up on my first album. And I was just, I was falling in love, falling out of love, breaking up with somebody, he's a bad person, or I'm so excited about him. And so that's what that first album was like. And then as I've gotten older and I got married and I have children, I look at the world very differently than I did in the very beginning. And, to be aware of what's going on. What did James Baldwin say? To be black and aware in this country is to be perpetually angry. And so you just see what's going on politically. You see what's going on culturally. And you want to say something. You have a platform, and I think you should use it to say something. And so I try to, in my own way, try to be positive, but also try to be very honest and real about what I see in the world. And hopefully it makes someone think, or it makes someone act, and that sort of thing. Because I believe that music has the power to do that.
Absolutely, it does. Okay, tell everyone the story about the record deal that you turned down from the great Jimmy Jam and Terry.
Oh, yes. So I was actually living here. I lived in Atlanta. I was 20, I think. Yeah, I think I was 20. And I had written all these songs in Nashville and had a publishing deal in Nashville and was writing songs for Faith Hill and Reba McEntire and all these different people. But I wasn't getting a record deal. Like, no one was interested in signing me. Everybody was just like, oh, we love your voice. We just have to find the right songs for someone like you. We have to figure out a way to market someone like you. And I was trying to think someone from St. Louis, someone who's tall, someone with curly hair. What do you mean? And so it became clear that before they could see me, the music was good, and then after they saw me, then it became complicated. And so I was just kind of at an impasse, and I didn't know what we were gonna do. And so I just happened to be in the airport. I was going for an audition because my managers were like, well, maybe we can get you in commercials. We can get you acting or something. So I was flying to LA to do a commercial for a cream cheese commercial. And and I had my guitar with me on my back, and I'm walking through the airport. And I mean, you see Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam, it's Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam. They got the hats and the sunglasses and the suits. Like, it's a lifestyle for them. And they saw me and I saw them, and they stopped me and they said, where are you going with that guitar? And I was like, I'm going to LA. And they're like, do you play that thing? That's always what people ask when they see you in the airport with your guitar. Do you play that thing? No, I just carry it for fun. No, so I was like, yes, I do. I'm a musician. What kind of music do you play? Well, I was like, at the time, it was straight ahead country. I was like, I sing country. You don't sing country. I do sing country. And I had a CD in my backpack, and I gave it to them. And got on my flight to go to LA. By the time we landed, they had left a message on my manager's voicemail saying that they wanted to have a meeting. So I went to my audition, and then I went to meet with Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam at their offices. And 2 days later, they offered me a record deal. The problem was they didn't want me to sing country. They wanted me to do pop, and they wanted me to learn how to dance. And I can't dance. And, and they wanted basically me to do, they're like, well, you can play your guitar and you can do your acoustic thing or whatever, but we really see you, you're young, you're only 20 years old, like you could be a pop star. And they really wanted me to be a pop star, and that's not what I wanted to be. And so I ended up turning that deal down. And I didn't get another record deal until I was 26, so 6 years passed between that and the record deal that I ultimately signed. And yeah, a lot of people looked at me real crazy for a long time. Christmas was real interesting for about 6 years. So you turned it down. Yes, I did. So.
Oh my goodness. So there was one thing that you said. They looked at you and they said, oh my gosh, you're a country artist. I can imagine that you're in many spaces where you are a minority.
Yes.
How do you deal with racism in your industry?
I mean, we're still dealing with it. I don't know if y'all are paying attention to what's going on in the news right now, but there's another controversy in country music right now with Jason Aldean. And I mean, you know what? I think the difference between now and when I first started my career is that we can actually have these conversations. When I first got started, everyone told me, don't talk about it. Like, it's obvious that you're black, so we don't need to talk about it. Don't talk about it. Just focus on your music, focus on your writing, focus on what you're doing. We don't have to talk about it. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about social justice. Don't talk about this. Try to fit in. Try to fit in as much as you can. And I tried that, and fitting in doesn't work. And so I think, dang if you do, dang if you don't. And so I think I feel better speaking up for myself, standing up for myself, standing up for others, and speaking truth to it. And I think I see little changes, but we have a very long way to go, like a very long way to go, which is why I started the show, the radio show, and all that.
Yes, and so during COVID-19, I don't know about you, I was trapped in the house with my kids, and it was wonderful at first, right? And then the month
for the first week,
turned into years, right? And so as an artist, you couldn't tour, you were trapped in the house. How did you reinvent yourself as an artist, and what did you do during that time?
So at the time, I had a 9-month-old and a 9-year-old. And so I was trying to teach third grade math, and I am terrible at math. And, trying to teach a baby how to babble and walk and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot. At that same time, a young man by the name of Lil Nas X had a song on the Billboard country charts called Old Town Road. And there was controversy about it because they did not want it on the country charts and actually removed it from the country charts and put it on the rap charts. And that caused the whole thing because it's like, well, why are, there are, believe it or not, white country hip hop artists. And so why are these artists able to do this music and have beats and rap and all that, but why is Lil Nas X not allowed? And so I started getting phone calls from different publications to talk about it. And it also was the 50th anniversary of Linda Martell. So Linda Martell is the first black woman to play the Grand Ole Opry. And to this day, she is the highest charting woman of color on the Billboard country charts at number 22. And this was in 1968 when she charted. And she had an album called Color Me Country. And her big song was a song called Bad Case of the Blues. And so anyway, I was asked to talk about that because I think I'm one of only 6 black women to ever play the Grand Ole Opry. And so people, publications wanted to know what I thought and that kind of thing. And I just got this idea that I knew of so many black country artists, so many Asian country artists, so many Latino country artists that weren't getting attention, that weren't getting a platform. And I started Color Me Country, my radio show. And it was just conversations. And so in between teaching math and putting a baby down, I would have like hour-long conversations with friends. And Apple Music found out that I was doing this and reached out to me and picked up the show. And we've just been renewed for our 4th season for next year. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna take a break from the heavy questions.
Okay.
So we're gonna play a little game.
Okay.
And it's Would You Rather. So
Oh,
this will
okay.
know a little bit about you. Would you rather spend the day with Oprah Winfrey or spend the day with Michelle Obama?
Oh. Why can't I spend the day with both of them? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. I grew up watching Oprah, so I would spend the day with Oprah.
Okay, why Oprah?
I have questions, like especially now that I have my own show. I would like to ask her like business questions. Like, how did you formulate those questions? Or how do you, because I actually studied her a lot to try to figure out how to give like a very conversational interview and like have pace and like that sort of thing. And ask probing questions without making people angry.
Right.
Like, that's the kind of thing. So, because Oprah was great at that. So yeah, I guess I would talk to Oprah. Okay. And then I would tell her to call Michelle. There you go.
Oh, there
See?
you go. Then, yeah, 2 for 1. Okay, do you prefer Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay, why Instagram?
It's pictures.
Okay.
No, you can just post a picture and then write one word and then you can leave.
Yeah.
Like I don't love social media a lot. No, I don't. I don't like it very much. I used to. I don't love it. It's become very tedious, and it's very I find that people aren't very honest on social media, like about what's really going on in their lives.
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't like that. I like to know like the real. I like to show the real, and I like to know the real.
Okay, I have another one for you. Would you rather watch the movie or read the book?
The book.
Okay.
I love the books.
Okay.
My mom was actually just telling a story about, I used to read all the time, to my detriment. Like I fell down the stairs once, reading a book going up the stairs, and kicked a hole in the wall because of it. So yeah, I love books.
Okay. One more. Walmart or Target?
Target.
You're a Target.
Target, darling.
Yes. Okay, so let's get back to it. All right, so as a mother, I'm always wanting to ensure that I'm giving my children the best and making sure that they're successful. And it's difficult to kind of balance that. So how do you balance being an artist and being a mother?
I think your partner, your co-parent, your partner is very important. Choosing well is very important because my girl's father he's very good with them, and so he picks up the slack. We do for each other. When I can't be there, he's there, and when he can't be there, then I'm there. So it's nice. It really is very important to pick the right person to help you
Yes.
do this parenting thing.
Absolutely, because not only do you have the podcast and you're touring, but also you have your foundation that you just started.
I do. I have a nonprofit that I just started called Color Me Country Foundation, and it is to help kind of demystify, just to make the journey easier for independent artists that come after me. And I want to provide all of the services for free, so they don't have to pay for anything. So we offer like marketing, workshops for songwriting. I'm gonna start after January, production, branding advice, all that kind of stuff. Like anything that you need as an indie to compete, that's what the foundation will be offering,
Oh, I love it.
free of charge.
Wow.
And we give out grants. We give out micro grants. Since we started the foundation in 2021, I've given out over 75 micro grants of $500 to $1,000. We've raised over $100,000. We were able to take 7 artists completely free of charge to Europe last year to play at a country music festival, all artists of color. And yeah, and we're doing it again actually in about a month. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
amazing. Oh, good deal. Okay, so if I were to hijack your Apple playlist, who would be playing on your playlist right now?
My children have hijacked my Apple Music playlist, so it's like Barbie soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like the kids' box.
I turned it on today when I was getting up this morning, and I was like, "What is this?" Yeah, it was Barbie.
Okay.
So yeah, we all share an account. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. If you could do a collaboration with anyone, who would you want to do a collaboration with?
Oh, that's a great question. I am a huge India Ari fan, and I just think and I know her. Like we've just never worked together, but I love her, and I think she's just an amazing songwriter, an amazing singer, and I just think it would be really cool to have her do something. So yeah, maybe.
I could so hear you all together.
I would love that.
Make that happen.
I'm gonna try.
What advice would you give 18-year-old Rissi?
Stay in school. No, I would tell her, because well, the same thing that I tell artists that I talk to now. Decide what you want. Do you want to be a musician or do you want to be famous? Because those are 2 very different journeys. And I did the famous journey, and it was not healthy. It was not good. It was not, at the height of everything. I had a modeling contract with IMG. I had a television show on Travel Channel. I was about to go out on tour. I had opened for Taylor Swift on tour and like all these things, and I was not happy, and things were not good. And and my family knew. I was never at home. I just wasn't in touch with myself and with my soul and my heart, and it started to take its toll. And so now I'm very much about the craft, the art of what it is that I do. I'm very focused on legacy. I think legacy is really important, like what you leave behind. Because, when there is no more streaming, when there is no more music, what did you do? How did you change people's lives? How did you enrich the culture? How did you transform things? How did you leave things better then you found them. And so that's very much what I'm focused on now.
I like that. So what is the legacy that you would want to leave behind?
Um, as an artist, I would love to be remembered for making music that was heartfelt and that was honest and that told the truth.
Yes.
And as an advocate, I want to leave a legacy of you can save yourself. Because I think a lot of artists believe that you need, smoke machines and fans, and you need managers and agents and 50 million people with their hands out. And you can really do most of that yourself.
Yes.
If you think about it and if you work at it. And so it's a lot harder, but you can do it. So yeah, I would hope that that's my legacy as an advocate. And then just as a human, Grace and Nova, my 2 daughters, are my legacy.
Oh, that's
So.
awesome. What's next on the horizon for Rissi?
I'm working on a new album right now. I am producing a concert at the Country Music Hall of Fame in November for all Black artists. It's for a compilation album that's coming out later on this year. Very excited about that. And another season of my show. I work for CMT, so I'm a special correspondent for the Hot 20 Countdown show, so more television stuff. Yeah, and coming to see my mom and dad.
Yes, they are right over there. How can your new fans find you on social media?
Sure. You can go, everything is Rissi Palmer Official. So you can go to Rissi Palmer Music or Rissi Palmer Official on all the socials. Or just go to RissiPalmer.com and everything, all the links for everything is there.
Great. Well, thank you so much. This has been a great conversation. Don't be a stranger to West
Of course.
You are welcome at any time. Wish you much success in your future, and we pray blessings over your career and your
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. You all give it up for Rissi Palmer.